Boom, we are pre-recorded again, and today we are going to be taking a look at the Gemini ad campaign saying crypto needs rules. Well, I'm sorry, Winklevoss twins, but I don't think you know what the heck you're talking about. If you did, you might have done a little bit better with Facebook. Now, you were ahead of the curve when it came to investing in Bitcoin, but now you're just making fools not only of yourselves, but of the rest of the people that are involved in this space. Now, for those of you that have been in the Bitcoin space as long as, well, even this year, we hope that you recognize that the reason something like crypto is so valuable is that it doesn't need an outside governing class to tell us what we can and cannot do with our money. For those that are interested, financial regulation has never done anything good for the average citizen. As a matter of fact, there are countless times when it has done just the opposite. We see the bank runs in 2013 from Cyprus, where they took anyone's account that had anything over $100,000 and just decided to say, hey, that's ours. That doesn't sound like very fun, and that's what rules and regulations got you. When you give someone else the power to rule and regulate your money, you end up giving it away. We saw something very similar with the gold standards back in the day, when the United States federal government decided to declare that they were going to repossess all of the gold. Very quickly, they returned all the paper notes, worthless paper fiat notes, government-controlled money, back to the citizens, and then within just a few weeks, gold skyrocketed in price, leaving any of the original gold holders with the empty bag of paper dollars. So here you can see on our screen we have this article from Cointelegraph. Currently, we have another screenshot to share there as well, but basically they put out an ad campaign that looks just like this. Shout out for Kingsley Edwards for sharing this photo on the East 46th Street. It says, Gemini, the regulated cryptocurrency exchange. Crypto needs rules. No, it doesn't. That's what makes it so invaluable. If you were to pay attention, the difficulty here is that you have large banks like HSBC, Deutsche Bank that are all getting fined pennies in comparison for transacting fraudulent charges and laundering money time and time again. Regulation does not work. We saw the same thing in prohibition. As a matter of fact, it makes things worse. When you open up the free market decides what is best, and that is not a rule. That is based off the sentiments of those who've been investing in the space of the free market. Now, the more you make rules, what you end up doing is stubbing critical thinking, something that is absolutely contrary to what you would want to do in a formal, educated society. You want to actually increase educated thinking by forcing someone to actually go through an experience and to learn from their mistakes. Whereas here, these companies that have caused all this, like HSBC or Deutsche Bank, massive fraudulent money laundering charges, they get a slap on the wrist where you would end up in prison for life. Now, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense considering it's the larger corporations that are generally the ones that are usually at fault for most of the problems in this planet and on our world and in our societies and communities. So it comes down to the question of how do we self-govern and how do we self-regulate. Yes, there needs to be rules, but not by the rule makers. It needs to be community chosen, and that's one of the other great things about the blockchain and decentralized governance space is it's going to allow us to do just that. So if we dive into this article just a little bit to give a little bit more reference here, it says the Gemini cryptocurrency exchange was founded by the Winklevoss twins in 2014, calling for better regulation in the crypto space, and their new ad campaign on the Wall Street Journal on January 4th said just that. This placards on taxis in the New York subway stations, as the one we just showed you that says crypto needs rules, while simultaneously suggesting that Gemini actually provides that regulatory compliant exchange for those investors. Other slogans include that money has a future and other crypto without chaos. These end themselves, I think, are very noticeably to just how little the Winklevoss twins understand about this space, and even though they may have been invested in the technology, they've completely missed the concept. We have the quote here by Chris Rowan as well, who says, "We believe that investors are coming into cryptocurrency deserve the exact same protections as investors in the more traditional markets." But little do they understand that those traditional markets have basically robbed people over and over and over again. It was a great quote by Henry Ford that has said, essentially, if you knew how the monetary system functioned, there would be a revolution overnight. And these are the rules and regulations that they're talking about. It's the rules and regulations that keep those in power, and we are not a fan, Winklevoss twins. So although we like Gemini Exchange, you guys should really get your heads out of your butts and start to figure out why those of us who invested in this space invested originally. It wasn't just to make money. No, my dear friends, it was to empower everyone, regardless of where. And that sadly means everybody. You cannot just empower a few, you have to empower everybody. And that's one of the difficult concepts. Also, remember, you have people like Ross Albright who were doing the exact same thing. They opened up what was the Silk Road at the time. And although I do not agree with any of these regulated bodies and their choices to imprison people for their mistakes, it comes down to the same question. Do you want to be in charge of your own self-governance, or do you want to give that power away to somebody else? I believe critical thinking, at least in my mind and in my heart, says I would rather self-govern than have someone govern over me. Anyways, this is Tea with the Arcane Bear. If you like this content, give us those thumbs up. If you're new to the Bear family, please hit the subscribe button. Join our Telegram channel in the links down below. And a shout out to our monthly impact sponsor this month, Energy.world, the energy cryptocurrency. They've got a great masternode section, so please make sure you check them out as well. We're going to an orphanage on the 8th of children that have Down syndrome and are deaf. We're bringing them a music system with one of our great friends here in Sri Lanka, so very grateful for that support and to be able to consistently build, grow, and do helpful things, empowering others. This is Tea with the Arcane Bear. I am signing off for the rest of the afternoon. Well, actually, that's not true. Maybe let's make another video today. We'll see you guys on the other side.